So Kat Harvey and I have been working on my book, and we're very close to the end. And the book is called Success with Local Marketing. And we promised to talk about marketing today, but we're feeling a little under the weather. I am, and Michelle says she can't sleep.
Michelle's crying.
So we're going to talk about a little bit of motivation, inspiration. This is the last chapter of the book. It's called Marketing Mindset to Win. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Brush your teeth. A lot of people here brush their teeth, I'm sure, yeah, every day? Sometimes twice a day?
I would hope so.
Okay. So why would I be telling you to brush your teeth? Isn't it funny how sometimes we wake up late and in the morning time, but we still somehow we brush our teeth? And isn't it funny how sometimes we stay up late, maybe hanging out with our girlfriends or something, and we don't get to bed on time and we just forget to brush our teeth at night, but the next day we wake up and we still brush our teeth. And every single day we brush our teeth day in and day out. So why is it when we want to do something positive, like journal in the morning for 5 minutes, or stretch and exercise for 15 or 20 minutes, why is it when we want to give ourselves self-care, we'll start off strong with some momentum, but then we'll fall off and we won't brush our teeth? I mean, we'll fall off for weeks and months, and these things we know that are good for ourselves, we just let them go. So that's why I'm trying to bring a call back to action. So when you start something positive in your life, like journaling or exercising, doing something good, and you fall off, promise yourself you're going to jump right back on the next day and brush your teeth. So brush your teeth. I'd ask everybody here in 2019 to make as many mistakes as possible. Please keep making mistakes.
No problem. Right?
My 19-year-old son posted on Instagram that he was having, a moment where he was feeling down and he was sorry because maybe he had made some people mad last year. We're gonna edit that out too. So my son was on Instagram posting, how 19-year-olds are, they have all their emotions on their sleeves. And he's thinking everything's down and out. And of course we know he's only 19. So I told him, son, I'm really glad that you made all those mistakes. Please keep making more mistakes. The biggest mistake that you would have made was to sit on the couch and not do anything at all. You got to keep taking action. A lot of times we use negative words to describe our actions. We use mistakes, fails, we feel guilty. Well, baseball is America's greatest sport. And baseball, they don't talk about fails, they don't talk about mistakes. They actually call it at-bats. And when they try to figure out a superstar baseball's batting average, they take his at-bats and his hits and they figure out his batting average. Now what's interesting about a batting average at a professional level in baseball is that a really good player hits the ball about 30% of the time. That means that they actually fail 70% of the time. In fact, the best batting average ever recorded in Major League Baseball history was Ted Williams in 1941, and he had a .406. That means he had a 60% failure rate. But it's interesting how they don't say fail rate. They say he had a batting average with his at-bats. I coached Little League, 10, 11-year-old basketball players. A lot of us have kids in the room. We've been on the sidelines cheering on the children. Isn't it interesting how every single attempt is cheered and revered? When we were playing basketball, all shoot, shoot, shoot. Every time the ball went up in the air, the parents clapped. Good shot, do it again, do it again. These little girls playing basketball, a lot of them in the beginning of the year can't even hit the rim when they're shooting the ball. So not very many shots are actually going in the hoop. But those parents are cheering on every single attempt. So all I'm asking is to change your tune a little bit, and instead of saying fail, say you took a chance. You had an up at bat. You took a shot. You know, it's really all about the language that we use that determines the attitude, the mood that we're going to be in moving forward. And remember, these guys are making millions and millions of dollars, and they're failing 70% of the time. And we're all cheering for them. Another thing I'd like to ask is that everybody take action. Don't wait. Don't wait. Many of us have these ideas and we feel like we have to get all the ducks in a row before we do something. One of the most famous generals of all history, General Patton, his most famous quote, "An imperfect plan implemented immediately will always succeed better than a perfect plan." Because he wanted to take action. He didn't want to wait because he knew that time was the only commodity he couldn't get back. That was the only thing he really couldn't risk. So don't wait. Take action. Don't hide in your comfort zone. To Casey's point, you have to take that concept to market and get some feedback. I mean, everybody's heard of Murphy's Law and all these things. So, I mean, you can have it all lined up in your head. And like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the face. Right? That's when reality hits.
Yeah, that's true.
That's when reality hits. You got to stop hiding in your comfort zone and, you know, rationalizing why you should be there. Instead of rationalizing, you're really telling yourself to rationalize. You know, same word, different meaning. Rationalize. Don't sweat the competition. Competition is great. I see a lot of people with cell phones on their table. In the 90s, quite a few people ignored computers. They said, I don't need computers, I'll figure it out, I don't need these computers. Well, now everybody's walking around with the computer in their back pocket. You know, and to think, 10 years ago, what did that cell phone look like? It was a brick. And then Apple came out with a phone, and then as soon as Apple had a phone, competition came in. And now these guys are fighting every Christmas to have that next best phone with that next best feature. And we're all actually doing really great because we've got these awesome phones and they're all fighting over the same dollar. You know, competition has always proved to make a better product, make a better person, make a better you. If you're going to sit back on your laurels, we're never going to get the best you. So when there's competition in the room, that's when you step your game up. And if you hang out with people that are better than you, you're going to be better. You know, so seek out your best competition. Seek out your best competition.
Your allies. Yeah. Your allies.
Don't get left behind. There are no days off. 9 to 5 is what I think society has placed on us, that 9 to 5 schedule. And people, they go through their high school, then you're supposed to go to college, and you're supposed to go 9 to 5. And that's all just something that's been told to us, but that's not necessarily the reality all the time. And a lot of times when we're working a 9 to 5, we're not working for ourselves, we're working for someone else. And sometimes that gets very uncomfortable. So a big way to test on whether or not you like your 9 to 5 is how fast you get out of bed in the morning. It's the get out of bed test. If you're not getting out of bed excited, something's wrong. And you need to go back and take a look at what that might be. And if it is your 9 to 5, challenge yourself. What are you going to do from 5 to 9? Work on your passion to get out of that 9 to 5 that's making you so upset. Now, I'm more of a nighttime person, so I'm, 5 to 9 p.m., but you might be 5 to 9 a.m. But see how we've identified 10 hours that you can work on getting out of that 8-hour problem that you have? So share that with your friends if you know anybody that's working a 9 to 5 that's not really happy with it. But as we know as entrepreneurs, there are no days off. I encourage everybody this year to say yes. Say yes, say yes, say yes. Because saying no can become a bad habit. And failing can also become a bad habit. So you have to take advantage of the easy wins, you have to take the easy yeses, and you'll create some momentum moving forward. In this day and age, you should say yes and then watch a YouTube video, because there's nothing that you can't do. And to be honest, most of the world and most of the technologies are very simple when you look under the hood. It reminds me of Legos. Many of us played with Legos, many of us played with building blocks when we were younger. Some of us built houses, some of us built cars, some of us built airplanes. What's interesting is that a lot of things are like Legos. If you look at a car, it doesn't really take much to make a car work. If I told you it would only take you 30 minutes and everybody in this room could change the oil, but a lot of people are intimidated by that. Did you know that in a computer, that big computer case, there's only 8 parts and they all fit together and they can only fit together one way? So everybody in this room can build a computer, but you didn't know because you've never opened a computer and looked. But I promise you, almost everything in this world is just like Legos. They're just little blocks that build on top of each other, and you all can do it. It's just that we haven't done it, so we don't know, so we get intimidated and scared. But if you watch a YouTube video or two, you'll see it's like, wow, it's only 4 screws, and I could update my own computer. I mean, there's only one slot to put RAM in. There's only one place to update that computer, with that hardware, or you could pay somebody $250. But, it's intimidating because it's a computer, and So, get out of your own way, stop telling yourself irrational lies, and watch a YouTube video and see how easy it can be. Say yes to opportunity. I have a special slide today, dedicated to Casey Company. Don't let the distractions become the attraction. Now, Casey told me that 2 years ago, and it's taken on a lot of meanings in my evolution. At first, I thought she was talking about having fun, and you got to stay on your goal, but that's not what it was. Then I was going through some hard times in growing a business. It's tough growing your business and stuff, and I again thought that it was about not getting upset, it was about not losing my positive mojo, it was about staying on track and not letting these negative things distract me. But now, don't remember my word. But now I realize what it really is. Well, at least in this evolution, where I am in my life now, the fastest way to your goal is a straight line. Now I have that goal I told you guys about, November 7th. It's right here, November 7th. November 7th, 2019. Better mark it down. So here's my goal, straight line. The fastest way I can get to that goal right now is finishing my book. So why am I doing social media? Why am I doing all these extra networking events? Why am I doing all these really great positive things? Why am I taking on that extra project I don't need? These are all productive things. I'm actually letting productive things take me off my goal. Because I'm scared. Because at the end of that goal, I have to do the book, then I have to go to work, then I have to sell all those tickets, and if I sell all those tickets, that'd be amazing, but then I have to stand in front of 500 people, the biggest crowd I've ever stood in front of. So don't let the distractions become the attraction. You have to eat the frog. You have to do the hardest possible thing first. You have to eat your veggies first. You know? You can't let the distractions, even though they're good distractions, you know, you're doing all these great things for your business. Jen's, we already have our business taxes filed, right? This is the first time I haven't had to do an extension in my whole entire life. But I still haven't finished my book. And I know that that book is the key to the next thing, which is the tour, which is how I have to go sell the tickets. So I have to constantly remind myself, no, John, don't take that project. No, John, don't do that. No, John, you know, stay on task. We've talked about a lot of things today, and a lot of them are obviously not very comfortable. And that's a good thing. We should all be more uncomfortable, because when we're uncomfortable, that means we're moving in the right direction. It means that we're not in our comfort zone. And we all know that comfort zones are not so comfortable. I don't even know why they call them comfort zones. They're places that we were trying to get out of the whole time. That's why we keep trying these other things, because we're not very happy. And then the first thing that happens is this terror barrier comes up. You know, this thing that scares you and it pushes you back and it says, you can't do this. You shouldn't do that. That sounds risky. Go back to your comfort zone. And a lot of times we go right back. And it's really hard to break through that comfort zone, that terror barrier. But it's not. In Little League sports, all the moms hold the banner across the football field, and all the little kids run through that piece of paper, and they break right through. That's how thin a terror barrier is. It's just paper thin. You can reach out and rip right through it. In fact, imagine yourself running like those little kids through that piece of paper, and then another piece of paper is right after it, and then right after that. And you can just keep breaking through each one. The faster you go, the more momentum you have. Boom, boom, boom. Then there is no barrier that can stop you. So being uncomfortable and staying uncomfortable means that you're in an engagement of momentum. And when you have momentum, it's very difficult to stop. It's very difficult to be stopped. Because challenges aren't challenges anymore. You're so used to saying, yes, I can, that it's not even your mindset to say no. Momentum is extremely important. So to end, what I'd like to ask you guys to do is to simply take the next 365 days and think of them as 365 opportunities. And thank you all very much for having me out for this opportunity.